I know it's rare that you get to see me on a Monday, but happy Moon Day, happy Monday. Mondays are my me day, and Mondays are when I have my body work done, when I'm recharging myself, and I devote them to myself. But my massage therapist canceled on me today. But I am going to have lunch with a friend, and food is one of my love languages. So I was excited for the invitation. It was a good consolation for not getting a massage today. So you get to see me on a Monday. Anyhow, I hope you had a good weekend. It was very powerful for me. I kind of hermited myself. Every other weekend, I don't have my kids, so it's really nice. I don't have to entertain or nurture or nourish anyone but myself. And I love that. I mean, I have pets and Salome, but other than that, no, it's okay. So I actually walked my property naked, and mosquitoes don't ever bug me, but I got a bite on my neck. So that was interesting because they don't ever bother me. And I was just talking about this literally the other day, how mosquitoes usually leave me alone. And I always wondered that because my mom would always say my blood was too sweet for mosquitoes. But mosquitoes are actually drawn to their food sources by carbon dioxide. And so I said, oh, I think it's just because I breathe too deeply that they're not attracted to me. Because shallow breathers, you're putting out a lot more carbon dioxide quickly. Whereas deep breathers, our inhale is much deeper, fuller, longer, and our exhale is not as toxic, I guess. So anyhow, there's that. And what should I see I'm getting so distracted. I'm not used to this on Monday. So in my cards, you're gonna see like very much the echoing of the energy that you're feeling in me today. Like I am not usually very grounded on Mondays because it is my me day. I don't have to get up with the intention that I'm holding space for anyone other than myself. And so I do tend to be spacey and ungrounded and not in my body. But because I'm going to have lunch with someone, I need to like get into that. But the Ascended Masters that showed up for me today, Melchizedek again. And so Melchizedek, I was really feeling in to the message of Melchizedek, and it talks about I've done so much integrating that now there is further inner study that's needed with all of that integrating to access what's in here. And it says to work with the ancient stars. And I love that, Troy, that you're on here because you posted something and I was like, poof, because last night, or was it this morning, early morning, I think I saw it. You shared a post with all of those ancient star symbols, the sacred geometry, and I actually screenshot it. So for him to show up, I was like, okay, because I even thought I saw that you were drawing them yourself. And I said, I think that's what I need to do. I think I need to physically draw these shapes, and that's how I'm going to better connect, not just looking at them, but I think I need to draw them. And you inspired that, Troy. So for him to show up, I was like, yeah, that happened for a reason. I saw that for a reason. He came back for a reason, all of that. So Melchizedek also teaches light workers how to really be light workers. And I talk about a lot of terms that are so overused right now in the collective that people really don't have an understanding. So there's so many people claiming to be a light worker, but it's like, do you really know how to integrate that light, that energy, that you don't overtax the earth plane with energy, or that you don't deplete the consciousness of energy? It's a really a delicate balance in this ascension process. And so I just want to put that out there. Lisa and I were talking about that this morning, and she really is a gift to connect with another soul sister that understands the things that I am processing, and I understand her, so it's lovely. It is beautiful, Geometry Troy. I love that. So the second one that came in is Archangel Ariel talking about courage. And if you see behind her is two lions. And Leo is the season that we're in, but also the healing of that lion face energy, meeting deceit, meeting darkness and evil, trying to thwart the path of the light. And so her showing up with this imagery is very much a synchronicity for me, what I'm moving through. And so I love that. And then I always know that I am moving into next leveling my shit when I pull cards that I don't ever see. And so honestly, I've had this deck for so long. I don't think I've ever pulled him, King Solomon. And so this is literally my favorite book in the Bible. And I've shared many times that in my 20s, I searched all religion trying to find me because I didn't know anyone like me. But this was my favorite book in the Bible. The reason why is because it was so sensual, and it spoke deeply to my love languages and brought it into this poetic depth that I craved in religion. And so I always asked myself, really, why don't they ever, in church or sermons or anything, why don't they ever read from that book? Isn't that interesting? I mean, these things are very interesting in general, but also the imagery of him wearing the purple cloak. And purple is the color that relates to Saint Germain. So I believe there's a connection there. Also, the ancient star symbol of the Merkaba with Melchizedek. So honestly, I really believe that there's a connection between these two gents and that energy to come in today. So I love the synchronicity of that. And so remember, these are my allies for the day. These are my guides. These are who I'm going to work with. That's the first layer of my pull for myself. The second layer of my pull for myself is my inner circle, those closest to me, my intimate relationships. And I'm not in a union right now, so this would mean my children and my closest friendships. And so Nightwind, facing fears, subconscious release, and healing. And I have been moving through this, how the masculine energy that I'm closest to, I am starting to feel the fear in them. And so resisting my own fear now to see that what they are actually resisting is moving forward and releasing the old paradigm that masculine is the power. And I've seen that in spiritual teachers, and it's disheartening to me, but I can understand it. So that's really their fear. And then my fear is, am I wrong? No, and Spirit says no. So this is me facing that. I am being shown my fear, like in my face, like really in these relationships that I have, friendships with other males, that they are clinging to old paradigm because they just don't want to believe that the power of feminine is what they have to move into. And this is very interesting because this is delicate. I don't know how I should. There are friendships of mine that I know spiritual bypassing is a real thing, and this is how I've been able to witness it. So explaining that to people, like that's another term that's been thrown around so much. It's like, do you even understand what spiritual bypassing is? Spiritual bypassing is I'm more spirit than human. That's a fact. But I would rather be in spirit than human. Spiritual bypassing. Everything is shiny, glistening rainbows and unicorns. Spiritual bypassing. La 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 la, this is not happening. Spiritual bypassing. Saying that you're human is not the way to transcendence is bullshit. And it's actually the way to transcendence, because that's why we choose the human experience, so that we can overcome our humanness, but also embody it in a divine way. That is so important. So can you find the balance within yourself? And if you're rejecting feminine energy out here, I can guarantee 100% you are rejecting the feminine within yourself, and definitely the physical part of yourself. And so this particular male is homosexual, and he's very triggered by the things that I say, because I talk about divine union. But divine union happens in here first. The merging of masculine and feminine happens here first, and then it appears out here. And even though your sexual preference is to be with another male, it does not mean that that polarity is not happening, or it also does not discredit the feminine that has been chosen. So I chose this physical vessel as feminine, and it is a powerful vessel that cannot be denied, that we harness a power that masculine doesn't, because of the vessel that we chose. But masculine has to be the foundation and support for that, for us to exist safely here. That's what I'm trying to get people to understand. It's not that I'm saying you ain't shit because you're male. That's bullshit. I revere males. I love the presence of male energy in my life and in my experiences. And I'm trying to teach men to embody the true power of masculine is not the discrediting of feminine. That's old paradigm. And if you're holding on to that because you're afraid to answer the call to action, to rise up and realize that the feminine has to be revered, that's on you, and I will cut you loose. Those sandbags have to be cut off. And there's no more loyalties to that. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. I take that back. I take that fucking back. Troy says, it would be wise for them to know both, the feminine and masculine. Thank you. And Troy says, the body and the spirit. Not either or, exactly. So we are everything and nothing, but we do choose the human experience, and we specifically chose these vessels. So the rejection of the vessel is deep self-betrayal. You have to ask yourself, what am I rejecting about this vessel? And that goes on every level of getting boob jobs. I mean, even as shallow as that. Yeah, you love your feminine vessel, but why are you altering it? What do you find imperfect? So the answers you need are coming. And this, I call this the spiritual smackdown. And so when I ask questions and then I get cards like this is the deck's way of saying this is something that has to be experienced, not known. And these are the cards that psychics get. So when I'm in session with another person and I pull cards from them and I get this, I said, this is the universe saying, you really don't get to know. So just wait for it. This is where we have to let go, really surrender, and perspective. And this is also let go. So in my inner circle, I'm being asked to really let go and surrender. And so I am shedding even more deeply than I had been shedding. I have to let those energies go. And there is no such thing as loyalty in the spiritual path, because loyalty is attachment. You sometimes have to make the decision. The most loving decision is saying, I am cutting you loose, because we are no longer speaking the same language. And it's self-betrayal to share space with someone who rejects you. And I won't edit anymore. So if I am in that space where I'm not editing and it's like talking to a wall, why would I share space there? That's no longer meant for me. And that's me holding on to old paradigm. I can help this person. I want to see the love of me transform someone. That's crazy. That's attachment, and that's ego, and that is spiritual bypassing. It's all going to be sprinkles and unicorns and rainbows. La, 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 la. I'm not listening. Like, no, let that shit go. And I send them all off with love, even a little ham basket of goodies, because any love that I've made them feel, just like that meme I've posted many times, is theirs to keep. I'm not retracting any of that love, but I am no longer spilling it into them. That has to be known. And so the sacred geometry that showed up for me today is Vesica Pisces, and I love it. Showed up upright, which validates for me that I am in complete balance with myself. So that's the masculine, feminine that I was talking about. And that's true. And I know that I embody that for myself, because what's showing up in my experiences is really keen discernment of who's not in balance, and the validation of all of my synchronicities are completely balanced. So I just need to now say, when I witness those imbalanced energies, because I'm being faced with that lion face testing of I'm letting go of what is no longer meant for me. The darkness that is not meant for me is the imbalance. And I'm letting it go, and I'm being courageous in that. And so the deep knowing showed up in reverse. And so deep knowing in reverse says that I'm on psychic overload, that I am in empathic overload, and that I really need to spend the day cleansing. And Mondays are my me day to do that. So I will do that, and I will also be taking a cleansing bath later to honor that direction, that I will cleanse. I did cleanse my house again. And also, for those of you who are looking for that because maybe you feel more exhausted, go onto my YouTube and Google Sherry Magdaleno Tower of Light. It cleanses and shields. Super powerful. It's my favorite meditation that was taught to me by a Swami years and years and years ago, and it's one of my favorites. And I do it in the morning. And you can do that anytime. And once you really get used to doing it often, it's such a fast process. So we'll also be doing that, like always. And so my stone ally of the day is Ceresite. And Ceresite is a beautiful stone. It's a storm stone, so it stimulates all chakras, which is what I need to recharge myself, right? Feeling depleted. And Ceresite, isn't that lovely? This is Ceresite in Matrix. So Ceresite is about illumination. Illumination means shedding light on something. So it's coming into a new understanding, which I believe is why Melchizedek showed up, which is why I believe the synchronicity of seeing Troy drawing sacred star symbolism and posting that all came in. So Ceresite is telling me, yes, hold on to this, because you will be coming into some illumination so that I can fully integrate and embody the information that I have in here, all the downloads, before taking that step into my work tomorrow. And so Blood Angel showed up in the Rumi deck. Blood Angel echoes the message of here and all of my inner circle energy. Blood Angel talks about me receiving an upgrade, that I am being elevated, and to release anything that cannot be carried into that new elevation, and that it is okay, that there is no such thing as loyalty or attachment, that I really do need to do this and to experience the sunsets, because the more you let go of, the more sunrises can occur, right? So to not fear that shedding process, the deepest shedding, because I'm creating space for actually what is meant for me. And it is no longer okay for me to play small and to hold on to things that are not serving me, that I have to be radically self-loving and obedient and let go of all those things. So and I have been doing that, but I do on some level feel loyalty. Okay, so I have friendships that are like 20 plus years, but I feel them so heavy, so dense, and it's almost a sadness in here that I have to let them go. And so this card just amplified that for me. I'm like, okay, what am I feeling into? Why do I still feel like this, even though I know I'm here for the spiritual path, even though I know I have to let go of these friendships. And so I don't want to hurt them. And that's what it comes down to. I know what it feels like. And so I don't want to inflict that pain on someone else. And you know what? Those people don't even listen to these videos. So it's like, how do you explain that to someone who doesn't understand you anymore? Where you're not even speaking the same language anymore. And that this isn't personal. That I do love you, but I've got to let this go. I've got to step forward because there's so much more meant for me. Troy says, tune back into the world within. Observing the chaos of it all can be exhausting. I need to do this myself. Yeah, these are the messages. This is why I think Spirit started having me share my pulls, my personal pulls, because I was doing double work, right? I was pulling for myself and then pulling for the collective. And Spirit's like, stop it. Stop doing the extra work, because when you share your own inner work and you share how you hold yourself accountable, I feel it is inspiring to others. At least that's the feedback I get. But I also feel that it helps people understand how to do the inner work, because you see it in so many posts. I'm doing the work, I'm doing the inner work, but it's like, okay, it's the same as like calling yourself a light worker. Do you really understand the depth of what that means? Do you really understand the depth of shadow work? Do you really understand the depth of doing the work? All of that. And so I think when you get to witness me doing it and speaking about it, because I don't think before I speak, it's all Spirit coming through me, sharing my path. I think that helps, I hope. Troy says, it is not always a permanent cutting off. That's true, it's not always permanent, but it is a creating of space. And he says, rather a boundary that can be put to them and set in a safe enough distance. That, yes, protecting the heart is important, even with close friends and family, always. And so I wanted to share these lilies. Holy shit, look at these. Like totally exploded. I wish you could smell them. I really wish you could. They are phenomenal. Anyhow, that's the spread for today. Thank you for sharing your most valuable commodity with me, your time and your energy. I am so grateful. I am so grateful. And I am sorry for any disharmony that I myself have created. Please forgive me. Thank you for this opportunity. I love you. I love you. I love you.